She invaded his mind, and immediately regretted it. The Kalit's ship called Silent Thorn hung in the black like a needle made of glass and hunger. It had chased the human vessel, Theseus' Lament, for many weeks across empty space. The human ship was old and hurt now. Engines coughed weak fire. Trails of leaking air glowed faint behind it. Weapons stayed dark and quiet. The Caliph knew this was their moment. High Cantor Lyra Veth stood tall on her command deck. Her skin shimmered soft blue and green like oil on water. Her crest rose high, proud and sharp. She was the best mind-breaker in her fleet. No wall of thought could hold against her. No secret stayed hidden when she reached inside a head. She had cracked open the minds of strong warriors from a dozen worlds. She had turned enemies into friends with one gentle push. She felt no fear, only calm purpose. The boarding pods launched fast and silent. They struck the human ship in many places. Airlocks hissed open. Kalit's soldiers moved. Inside, their long, thin bodies flowed like smoke. Armor gleamed under dim lights. They carried no guns, only mind spikes, thin silver rods that could link thoughts and pull truth out like thread from cloth. They expected screams. They expected humans to beg or run or fight with clumsy fists. They found silence instead. The corridors were empty. Lights flickered weak and red. Emergency strips glowed along the floor. Panels hung open. Wires spilled like guts from machines. The air smelled of burnt metal and old sweat. No bodies lay on the ground. No blood marked the walls. The Caliph spread out. They checked rooms. They looked in storage bays. They listened with their minds for any spark of fear or anger. Nothing came back. At last they reached the bridge. The big doors stood half open. Twisted metal teeth grinned around the edges. Inside, one human sat alone. He wore a worn gray vac suit. Patches covered old tears. The helmet rested beside him on the floor. His hair was short and dark. Face looked calm, almost bored. He held a cracked mug in both hands. Steam rose slow from the black liquid inside. He sipped once, then set the mug down. The Kalit's soldiers formed a half-circle around him. Their mind spikes hummed low, ready to strike. High Cantor Lyra Veth stepped forward last. She moved slow, graceful. Her crest flared bright violet. She looked down at the human. His eyes met hers. They were gray like storm clouds over water. No terror lived in them, no hate, no hope, just quiet watching. She spoke first. Her voice came smooth through the translator band on her throat. You are the last one, human. Give us what we want. Your fleet paths, your homeworld codes, your surrender words. Speak them now, or we take them from your head. The human named Elias Crow, according to the ship list, tilted his head a little. He smiled small and quick. Not friendly, not mean, just there. You want inside my head, he said. That is a bad idea. Lyra Veth felt no worry. She had heard brave words before. She had broken braver minds. She raised one long hand, palm out toward him. Her mind stretched forward, silver and sharp like a blade of light. It touched his thoughts soft at first, testing the surface, looking for cracks, looking for fear. The moment contact happened, everything changed. Her mind did not find a neat room of memories. It did not find ordered shelves of facts. It slammed into something huge and loud and wrong. A storm roared inside his skull. Endless thunder rolled through halls that should not exist. Walls bent and folded into themselves. Floors dropped away into dark, then rose again like waves. Voices shouted over each other. Some laughed, some cried, some sang broken songs in tongues she had never heard. Colors flashed fast and hot. Red like fresh blood, blue like frozen sky, yellow like burning oil. Smells hit her next. Wet dirt after rain, hot metal under sun, old books burning, salt from tears, gasoline from fires that happened long ago. She tried to pull back. Blade stuck fast. Something grabbed it. Not hands, not claws. Something alive and hungry and patient. It pulled her deeper. Images flooded in fast, too fast. A small human boy stood on red sand. His home burned behind him. Towers of glass melted into rivers of fire. He watched without blinking. He counted the screams. 1, 2, 3, 4. He stopped at 712. He saved the number inside like a treasure. A young man laughed wild while he climbed inside the open skull of a giant war machine. His hands moved quick with wires and bombs. The machine screamed through speakers. He laughed louder. A man sat alone on a dead moon. Gray dust covered everything. He talked to empty air. He called it sister. He told it stories about home. He forgot which one of them had died first. Every picture carried pain. Every picture carried love. Every picture carried rage. They twisted together. They fought. They held hands. They tore each other apart. She saw a mother kiss a sleeping child. She saw the same hands snap a neck. She saw a soldier cry over a friend. She saw the same soldier smile while he burned a city. She saw equations written in blood that proved nothing mattered. She saw songs sung to stars that had already died. Lyra Veth's crest flared bright, then darker violet, then black at the edges. Her secondary minds, the quiet ones that kept her steady, began to crack. One mind whispered nonsense, another started counting backward from forever, a third simply went dark like a candle snuffed out. She pushed hard. She flooded the link with noise, white static loud enough to break fleets. The noise hit his mind. It sank. It vanished. His thoughts drank it like dry sand drinks rain. Then the thoughts pushed back. She felt her own memories twist. They bent. They laughed. They wore her face and spoke her voice. She tasted her mother's last thought. It sang about eating light. It tasted like copper and lies. She felt every death her people caused, every world they took, every mind they broke. Lined up, neat and clean. Necessary, they said. Necessary, they repeated. The word tasted like ash. Her legs gave way. She dropped to her knees. Her crest cracked. Loud snaps filled the bridge. Shards fell like broken glass. They glowed faint, then died. The other Kalith soldiers swayed. Their mind spikes dropped from numb hands. One soldier clawed at her own face. She whispered, "Too many doors, too many doors." Elias Crow stood up slow. He walked past the broken soldiers. He stopped beside Lyra Veth. She curled tight on the floor. Her body shook. Her mind screamed, quiet and endless. He looked down at her. His face stayed calm. "You should not have come in," he said. Soft, not angry, not glad, just true. He reached out one hand. 2 fingers touched her temple. Light, not hard, not cruel. A warm wave moved through her. It smoothed the sharp edges. It closed the worst doors. It left the fear. It kept the lesson. He stepped back. He picked up his mug. He took one last sip. Then he walked to the console. Pressed keys. The ship lights brightened. Engines hummed, low and strong. The Kalith stayed where they fell. Minds quiet. Minds hurt. Minds changed. Elias looked at the main screen. Stars waited outside. He raised his mug to the dark. A small salute. "Welcome," he said. "Welcome to us." The Theseus lament turned slow. It pushed away from the silent thorn. It left the broken borders behind. It flew into the black, carrying one human who remembered everything, and one lesson no one would forget. She invaded his mind, and immediately regretted it. Lyra Veth did not escape clean. Her silver mind thread stayed caught deep inside the human, like silk torn on sharp metal. She tried to yank it free. She pushed with all her strength. The thread stretched thin. It hurt like fire in her skull. Yet it would not break. Something inside Elias Crow held it tight. Not angry, not cruel, just steady and patient, like a hand that never lets go. Through that thin silver line, pictures kept coming. They came slow now, not the wild flood from before. These pictures moved careful. They showed themselves one by one. They wanted her to see. They wanted her to understand. First, she saw the boy again, the same small human on red sand. His home colony burned slow. Towers fell quiet. No big explosions, just long, sad cracks as glass gave way. Parents ran with children in arms. They shouted names. They reached for hands that slipped away. The boy, Elias, stood still. He watched. He did not cry. Wide, he counted bodies as they fell, one by one. He reached 400. He stopped. He closed his eyes for 1 second. Then he opened them again. He promised himself he would never forget the number. He carved it inside his head like writing on stone. The picture shifted. Years passed. The young man Elias climbed dark tunnels under an enemy base. His squad died one after another. Shots rang loud. Bodies dropped wet. He kept moving. He laughed soft to himself. The laugh sounded strange. It mixed joy and pain. He reached the brain room of the giant war beast. The beast still lived. It breathed heavy. It shook the walls. Elias opened its skull with tools. His hands stayed steady. He placed small bombs inside soft gray folds. The beast screamed through speakers. The scream shook dust from the roof. Elias laughed louder. He whispered, "Sorry, old friend." Then he ran. The bombs went off behind him. The beast died quiet. A laugh stayed in his throat for days. Another picture came. A gray moon. Dead rock. No air. Sound. Elias sat on the dust. His suit leaked slow. He talked to empty space. He called it sister. He told stories about their old home, about rain, about trees, about her laugh. He asked questions. He waited for answers that never came. Nights passed. He forgot what day it was. He forgot her face. He started to think maybe he died first. Maybe she lived on somewhere. He talked louder to fill the quiet. He sang songs his mother taught him. His voice cracked dry. The moon listened. It gave nothing back. After 3 years, he stopped talking. He sat quiet. He stared at stars. He decided it did not matter who died first. Both ways hurt the same. More pictures followed fast. A woman held a baby close. She kissed its head. She sang soft words. The baby smiled. The woman smiled back. Then the same hands wrapped tight around a throat. The throat belonged to a man who hurt her. The man begged. The woman cried. She squeezed harder. Tears fell on his face. She whispered, "Forgive me." The man stopped moving. She let go. At her hands. She washed them in cold water. She never sang again. A soldier knelt by a friend. The friend bled out fast. The soldier pressed hard on the wound. Blood soaked through fingers. The friend smiled weak. He said, "Thanks for trying." The soldier cried. The soldier stood up. He walked to the next fight. He smiled at enemies. He burned their camp. He felt nothing. He felt everything. He hated the quiet after the noise. He hated the noise during the quiet. He kept going because stopping meant thinking. Equations appeared, written in red on white walls. They said love equals pain divided by time. They said hope equals lies multiplied by years. They said nothing matters because everything ends. They laughed at the equations. They cried at the equations. They tore the walls down. They built new walls. They wrote new equations. They started over. Lyra Veth felt her minds shake. Her main mind held strong. Her helper minds broke. One mind sang child songs over and over. It sang about stars and home. It sang until the words turned to screams. Another mind counted numbers backward. It counted from 1 million. It never stopped. A third mind went black. It left a hole where thought should live. She tried one last push. She sent white noise again, louder, stronger. The noise crashed against his mind. It broke apart. It scattered. His thoughts caught the pieces. They turned the noise into shapes. They turned shapes into memories. They sent the memories back to her. She felt her own past twist. Her mother's voice spoke inside her head. It sang about swallowing suns. It tasted sweet. It tasted wrong. Her father's last battle flashed bright. He died proud. He died scared. The pride and fear mixed. They became one feeling. She hated it. She loved it. She wanted to forget. She wanted to remember forever. Her crest cracked more. Black lines spread fast. Shards fell slow. They hit the floor. They glowed once. They died. The other Caliph soldiers dropped, one by one. Minds leak out their eyes, mouths. One soldier rocked back and forth. She whispered, "Make it stop! Make it stop!" Another clawed the deck plates. Nails broke. Blood came. She laughed. She cried. She did both at once. Elias watched it all. He stood calm. His gray eyes stayed quiet. He sipped from the cracked mug once more. Steam rose slow. He set the mug down. He walked close to Lyra Veth. She lay curled tight. Her body shook hard. Her crest hung broken and dark. He knelt beside her. He spoke soft. "You wanted truth. You got it. All of it. The messy parts, the beautiful parts, the parts that break you." She tried to speak. Her voice came weak and thin. "What are you?" He looked at her for a long moment. "I am the thing that stays alive when everything else dies. I carry the hurt. I carry the joy. I carry both until they weigh nothing. I carry them anyway. That is what humans do." He reached out slow. 2 fingers touched her temple again. Warm light moved through her. It smoothed rough edges. It closed doors that screamed. Away loops that ate sanity. It left the fear. It left the memory of fear. It left enough to teach. She felt the silver thread snap free at last. It pulled out clean. It left no mark on him. It left scars on her. Elias stood. He walked back to the console. He pressed keys. Lights came on stronger. Engines hummed deep and steady. The ship woke up slow. It shook off damage. It prepared to move. The Caliph stayed on the floor, minds quiet, minds broken, minds full of things they could never unsee. Elias looked at the stars outside. He raised his mug again. Small salute. "Welcome to the inside of us," he said. "Sorry. It hurts." The Theseus lament turned. Engines flared bright. It pulled away from the silent thorn. It left the borders behind. It flew into dark space, carrying one man who remembered every scream, every laugh, every tear, and one lesson carved deep into minds that would never heal the same way again. She invaded his mind, and immediately regretted it. Lyra Veth fought to break free one last time. She gathered every piece of her mind that still worked. She pulled them together like broken glass into one sharp point. She aimed that point at the silver thread still stuck in Elias's mind. She pushed with all her strength. White noise exploded from her core. Loud, bright, sharp enough to shatter fleets, enough to silence whole worlds. The noise rushed forward. It hit his thoughts hard. The noise vanished. His mind swallowed it whole, like deep water takes a stone. No splash, no echo, just gone. Then the mind pushed back. Slow at first, then stronger. The push carried everything she had sent, plus more. Plus pieces of him, plus pieces she never wanted. She felt it all at once. Perfect, clear, terrible. Colors, tastes, sounds, smells, feelings, wrapped together tight. She felt skin peel away slow, while gentle hands held her close. The hands belonged to someone crying harder than she did. mixed with soft words of sorry, sorry, sorry. She tasted salt from tears that were not hers. She smelled smoke from fires she never lit. Her own memories twisted next. Her mother appeared young and strong. Her mother sang a song about stars born from dark. Her mother's voice turned sharp. Her mother sang the same song while eating light, eating suns, eating worlds. The song tasted sweet like honey. The song tasted bitter like blood. Lyra Veth wanted to scream. She could not find her voice. She saw every war the Caliph fought, every world they claimed, every mind they broke. Pictures lined up neat, rows and rows. Reasons stood beside each picture. Necessary, 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 the word repeated. The word grew heavy. The word tasted like metal in her mouth, like rust, like old coins soaked in tears. She saw children on those worlds. She saw them hide. She saw them run. She saw them stop running forever. The reasons stayed the same. Necessary. The pictures stayed the same. Necessary hurt more now. Felt wrong. Necessary felt like a lie she told herself every day. Her crest shattered, loud. Cracks ran fast. Black lines spread. Shards broke free. They floated slow in zero gravity. They caught light once. They died dark. The pieces hit the deck. They made small clinks. They rolled away. The other Caliph felt it too. The legs sped pain like fire through dry grass. One soldier dropped her mind spike. She fell to her knees. She rocked back and forth. She whispered, "Too many, too many, too many." Another soldier clawed at her face. Nails dug deep. Red lines appeared. She laughed high and broken. She laughed until the laugh turned to sobs. She fell sideways. She curled tight. A third soldier stared at nothing. His eyes went wide. His mouth opened. His mind leaked out slow like smoke. He said nothing. He just leaked. Elias watched from the center of the bridge. His face stayed calm. His gray eyes moved slow over each broken form. He stepped forward. No hurry, no rush. He walked between the fallen Caliph. Their bodies shook. Their minds screamed quiet. He stopped beside Lyra Veth. She lay on the floor, curled small. Her crest hung in pieces. Her skin color shifted fast, blue to green to gray to nothing. He knelt low. He looked at her close. She tried to pull away. Her body would not move. She tried to speak. Her voice came thin and cracked. "Kill me. End it. Please." He stayed quiet for a moment. He studied her face. He saw the fear there. Real fear. Deep fear. The kind that stays forever. He spoke soft. Not loud. Not mean. Not kind. Just true. "You asked to see inside a human head. You saw it. You saw the parts we hide even from ourselves. You saw the love that kills. You saw the hate that saves. You saw the joy wrapped in pain. You saw everything we carry so we can keep walking." She shook harder. Her breath came fast, short. Her minds broke more. One mind looped old songs, another counted endless numbers, a third just stared into black. Nothing answered back. Elias raised one hand slow. Fingers on her temple. Light, warm, steady. A wave moved out from his touch. Gentle, careful. It searched her thoughts. It found the worst loops, the ones that ate sanity, the ones that screamed forever. It closed them soft. It locked them away. It did not erase them. It hid them deep. It left the fear. It left the memory of the touch. It left enough to remember why. She felt the change. The screaming stopped slow. The counting slowed. The black hole shrank. The wave pulled back. It left quiet. Not peace. Not empty. Just quiet. Enough to breathe. Enough to think. Enough to hurt in a new way. He took his hand away. He stood up. He looked around the bridge. The Caliph lay still now. No more clawing. No more whispering. No more leaking. Minds rested heavy. Minds carried new weight. Minds would never feel the same. He walked to the main console. He pressed keys slow. Lights brightened more. Air moved fresh. Engines rumbled deep. The ship woke, full strength. It shook off old damage. It prepared to leave. Veth lifted her head slow. Her crest hung broken. Her eyes met his again. Gray storm eyes. Calm, watching eyes. She tried to speak again. Why? Why leave us alive? He turned back to her. Because dead teachers teach nothing. Living ones carry the lesson forever. You will remember enough. You will warn the others. You will make sure no one tries this again. Not because you hate us, because you know what happens when you touch what should stay untouched. He picked up the cracked mug from the floor. Steam still rose, faint. He took one sip. He set it down. He looked at the stars on the big screen. Black, endless waiting. He raised the mug small salute to the dark. Welcome, he said. Welcome to the part of us no one wants to meet. The Theseus lament moved. Engines flared bright and steady. It pulled away slow. It left the silent thorn behind, dark and quiet and full of broken minds. It flew into open space, carrying one human who held every hurt, every laugh, every tear inside, and one lesson burned deep into minds that would carry it to the end of their days. The war went on. The galaxy stayed big. The Caliph stayed strong. But something changed. Quiet. No one spoke about loud. Something that started with one mind, that reached too far, and found more than it could ever hold. She invaded his mind, and immediately regretted it. Elias Crow stood in the center of the ruined bridge. His gray vac suit looked small against the tall, broken forms of the Caliph's soldiers. They lay scattered across the deck. Some curled tight, some sprawled flat, some rocked slow back and forth. Their crests hung dark and cracked. Their long, thin bodies shook with quiet tremors. Minds that once danced through thoughts now crawled slow and hurt. No one moved to stand. No one reached for weapons. No one even looked up at him. He walked among them, careful. His boots made soft thuds on the metal floor. He stepped over dropped mine spikes. Silver rods lay cold and useless now. He stopped beside one soldier. The soldier clawed slow at her own arms. Red lines marked her skin. She whispered words too low to hear. He knelt close. He placed one hand on her shoulder. Light, gentle, steady. Her shaking slowed. Her whispers stopped. She stared at nothing, her eyes wet and wide. He spoke soft. You will be okay. You will carry this. You will learn from it. Then he moved on. He reached the next soldier, the one who laughed and cried at the same time. The laugh died away. The cry turned quiet. Elias sat beside him for a moment. He said nothing. He just stayed there. The soldier looked at him once. Gray eyes met dark violet ones. Something passed between them. No words, no touch. Just quiet understanding. The soldier nodded small. Then he closed his eyes. He breathed deep. He stopped fighting the weight inside. Elias kept walking. He moved slow. He checked each one. He touched shoulders. He spoke low words. He let calm flow from his hands like warm water over cold stone. One by one, the worst tremors eased. Minds settled. Minds rested. Minds carried scars, but no longer bled fresh. One soldier sat up slow. She looked at him. Her crest flickered faint green. She tried to speak. Her voice came broken. Thank you. He shook his head small. No thanks needed. Just survival. At last he came back to Lyraveth, smallest of all. Her body formed a tight ball. Her arms wrapped around her knees. Her crest pieces lay around her like broken jewels. Her skin shifted gray to pale blue to nothing. She breathed fast, shallow. Her mind still looped faint echoes of what she saw. She keened low. subsonic sound that hurt the air. Elias crouched beside her. He waited until her breathing slowed a little. He spoke gentle. "You asked for everything. You got it. Now you know what lives behind human eyes. You know the soft parts. You know the sharp parts. You know how we hold both at once without breaking most days." She uncurled slow. Her head lifted. Her eyes met his again. Wet, shining, afraid. She tried to form words. Her voice cracked thin. "Kill me. Please, make it end. I cannot carry this." He looked at her long. He studied the fear there. Deep, raw, real, the kind that changes everything. He shook his head slow. "No, I will not kill you. Death ends pain. Death ends lessons. You need to live with this. You need to remember. To tell the others. Never touch a human mind. Never reach inside. Never try to take what we guard so hard." She shook harder. Tears fell slow down her face. They glowed faint. They caught light. They dropped to the deck. He reached out again. 2 fingers touched her temple once more. Warm light moved slow, careful, deep. It searched the broken places. It found the loops that still screamed. It found the doors that banged open and shut. It found the memories that were not hers, but felt like they were now. He smoothed them gentle. He folded them small. He tucked them away in dark corners. Not gone, not erased, just quiet. Enough to function, enough to warn, enough to fear. She gasped soft. The keening stopped. The shaking eased. Her crest flickered once, bright violet, then soft green, then steady blue. She breathed deep. She sat up slow. She looked around at her fallen soldiers. They breathed easier now. They looked at her. They looked at him. Something new lived in their eyes. Not hate, not love, not surrender. Knowing. Elias stood. He stepped back. He gave her space. He spoke again. "You will heal. You will change. You will make new rules. You will keep your people safe from us. Not by fighting harder, by staying away from what you cannot understand." Lyraveth nodded slow. Small movement, full of weight. She looked at him one last time. "Why show mercy? Why not finish us?" He smiled small. First real smile since they boarded. Not wide, not happy, just there. Because mercy costs nothing. And sometimes it plants a seed. Sometimes that seed grows into peace. Sometimes it just keeps the war from getting worse. Either way, it helps me sleep better at night. He turned, he walked to the console. He pressed more keys. Systems hummed louder. Air circulated fresh. Lights burned bright. Engines rumbled strong. The Theseus lament woke full. The ship felt alive again. It shook off the last of the damage. It prepared to fly. Elias picked up his cracked mug from the floor. Steam still rose thin. He took one final sip. The coffee tasted bitter and warm. He set the mug down careful. He looked at the main screen. Stars waited black and endless. He raised the mug one last time. Small salute to the void. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you for the company." He pressed the final key. The bridge doors hissed shut behind the last caliph. He sealed them in gentle. No locks, no traps. Just closed doors. The shuttle bay opened slow. The caliph boarding craft floated free. It drifted away slow. Engines cold. Minds quiet. Minds changed. The Theseus lament turned. Engines flared clean white fire. It pulled away fast. It left the silent thorn behind. Dark, silent, wounded. It flew into open space, carrying one human who held every memory tight, who carried every scar proud, who kept walking because stopping never helped. Lyraveth watched from her shuttle window. The human ship grew small, then vanished into black. She touched her temple. Fingers shook faint. She felt the quiet places he left. She felt the fear he kept. Lesson burned deep. She turned to her soldiers. They sat up slow. They looked at her. They waited. She spoke, soft voice, steady. Never again. Never touch a human mind. Never try to know what lives inside. Never. They nodded one by one. Minds echoed the words. Minds carried the weight. Minds promised silence. The war continued. The stars stayed cold. The galaxy turned slow. But something shifted quiet. Something no fleet could fight. Something born from one mind that reached too far and found a mirror too deep to bear. Sea invaded his mind and immediately regretted it. The Theseus lament slipped away into the deep black. Engines burned steady white fire. The old ship moved smooth now. No more coughs, no more leaks, just quiet power carrying one man forward. The Caliph boarding shuttle drifted behind, silent, dark, no lights, no movement. Minds inside stayed quiet. Minds carried heavy new truths. Minds would never forget. 3 weeks passed slow. The Dominion retrieval fleet found the Silent Thorn first. The big rescue ships pulled close. Grapples locked tight. Airlocks joined. They sent teams inside, expecting bodies, expecting blood, expecting fight. They found living Caliph instead. Soldiers sat quiet in the corridors, armor still on, minds still working, bodies still breathing. No one attacked, no one begged, no one spoke much. The retrieval leader walked the bridge. She saw High Cantor Lyra Veth first. Lyra Veth sat against the console. Her crest hung low, pieces missing, black cracks ran deep, stayed pale blue. No shimmer, no pride. She looked up slow, eyes clear but tired. The leader asked questions fast. What happened? Where's the human? Where are the fleet codes? Where are the plans? Lyra Veth said nothing at first. She stared at the empty spot where Elias sat. She stared at the cracked mug left on the floor. Days turned to weeks. The rescue ships took everyone home. Medical bays filled with quiet patients. Minds scanned, minds tested. Minds showed strange patterns. Loops gone, holes filled, fear left strong. The doctors whispered among themselves. They said minds broken. They said minds changed. They said minds healed wrong. They asked Lyra Veth to speak. She refused for a long time. She sat in her room. She stared at walls. She touched her temple often. She felt the quiet places Elias left. She felt the fear he kept. She felt the lesson burn deep. Months passed. The Dominion leaders called her. They wanted answers. They wanted reports. They wanted reasons. She walked into the high chamber. Tall ceilings glowed soft. Voices waited sharp. She stood straight. Her crest lifted a little. She spoke 5 words, slow, clear. Never touch a human mind. The room went quiet. Leaders looked at each other. They asked more. She shook her head. She said nothing else. They pushed. They ordered. They threatened. She stayed silent. She looked at the floor. She remembered gray eyes. She remembered calm voice. She remembered warm touch that closed doors. She remembered mercy that hurt more than death. They sent her away. They tried other survivors. One soldier spoke soft. He said the human mind felt like ocean. Deep, wide, full of storms, full of calm, full of things that should not mix. He said touching it felt like drowning in every life at once. He said the human gave mercy. He said the human could have killed them all. He said the human chose not to. He said never again. The leaders listened. They read old logs. They watched security feeds. They saw Elias sit calm. They saw Lyra Veth reach out. Freeze. They saw her fall. They saw him walk among broken minds. They saw him touch temples. They saw him leave the mug. They saw him salute the stars. They heard his voice, faint. Welcome to us. Sorry about the mess. The Dominion changed quiet. New orders came down. No more telepathic boardings. No more mind spikes on human ships. No more probes, no more reaches. Doctrine books got new pages. Old tactics crossed out. New warnings written big. Never attempt psychic contact with humans. Never attempt deep read. Never attempt surface scan. Penalty for violation became severe. Loss of rank, loss of command, loss of everything. Ships got new rules. Crews got new training. Instructors spoke careful. They said humans think different. They said human minds hold contradictions. They said human minds carry pain like treasure. They said human minds turn mercy into weapon. They said human minds never stop. They said leave them alone. Lyra Veth went back to duty slow. She flew new ships. She led small fleets. Stayed away from human space. She watched from far. She saw human vessels move fast. She saw them fight hard. She saw them laugh in battle. She saw them cry after. She saw them keep going. She understood now why they kept going, why they never broke, why they scared her people so much. Somewhere in the black, Elias Crow flew on. The Theseus Lament got repairs. New parts, new crew, new missions. He drank bad coffee from new mugs. He remembered old ones. He remembered every face, every scream, every laugh, every tear. He carried them all. He let them sit inside. He let them argue. He let them sing. He let them hurt. He let them heal. He kept walking, because that was what humans did best. He looked at stars often. He thought about Lyra Veth. He wondered if she healed. He wondered if she warned others. He wondered if the lesson stuck. He smiled small when he thought about it. He raised his mug to the dark again. Welcome, he said. Welcome to humanity. We are messy, we are loud, we are broken, we are whole. Going. The war went on. Fleets clashed. Worlds burned. Ships died. Stars watched cold. Humans fought on. Caliph fought careful. No one reached inside heads anymore. No one tried to know what lived behind gray eyes. No one wanted that door open again. Years passed. The story spread quiet. Whispers in barracks, tales in officer rooms, legends in training halls. They called it the bridge lesson. They called it the mind that bit back. They called it the day we learned fear. They never said his name. They never needed to. Everyone knew. One human, one mind, one touch, one regret. And in the endless dark between stars, Elias Crow kept flying. He kept remembering. He kept carrying. He kept living. Because that was the only thing left to do. Because that was what made humans the thing no one could break. Because that was why she regretted it the moment she tried. The galaxy turned slow. The war burned low. The lesson stayed bright. Never touch a human mind. Never look too deep. Never regret less than everything.